Dr. Joe.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
I'm
Sorry,
well. Thank
I
you.
realized I was under a different account, so I couldn't sign in.
Yeah, that's your secret account. It's a
Check it
secret
out.
account. What do you think?
I'll tell you what. I'm gonna be very blunt and just say, I got my brain back. This
Come on, come on. First of all, I got my brain back. What kind of validity is that, Dr. Physio, Masters of Physiology? Nobody's gonna buy that. I got my brain. Nobody's gonna buy that.
Yeah. So I know that sounds a little.
Yeah, more than a little.
I know, but I'll tell you that I've been dealing with these long haul symptoms for a very long time, and I've tried a bunch of different things, and this has finally helped me get my clarity back. Peace, clarity. I don't have brain fog. I just feel better. Totally, my verbal fluidity is back. My mental acuity is back.
You do seem a little quicker on the vocabulary. I could give you that much.
Yeah.
But I mean, what about the data, baby? What about data?
My HRV is going up. HRV is going up. Resting heart rate is back to normal, back down. The SpO2, I mean, my SpO2 is always 98, 100,
Mhm.
So, but yeah. And I wanted to ask you, how many times a day am I supposed to use this? Because I usually use it in the morning and then before bed at night.
So let's just dial these in. Twice is good.
Yeah.
Twice is good. And I sent you a pad too, right?
Yep.
All right. So the pad is for a couple things. Wherever it hurts, or if you strain something, put it on. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Put it on there. Got it? So any pains or strains or anything that you might have. Now, you also want to use the body pad, the little mini pad, maybe in the back of your head while you're laying in bed. Okay. Now, or you can put it here on the front of your neck. Okay. That's going to just kind of pump that nitric oxide up into your brain, right?
Wow.
So you're going to have vasodilation here. At night, you use the red and the infrared. I recommend you use the bright red one in the right nostril and the dull red one in the left nostril. The reason is because the left medial prefrontal cortex is how do you say there, central modifier of your brain stem nuclei that then govern your vagal tone. So obviously yours is already pretty good at 160, but you can switch it. And then in the morning, then put the infrared over here, put the blue over here, kill out everything.
Yeah.
You can switch the blue around because it's really an excellent thing for your blood.
So I have a 3 of these plugs.
Red, infrared, and blue.
Okay, so I have only been using the red and blue. I haven't used I thought it was like a replacement just in case. I thought that the blue was essentially the infrared. My mistake.
Incorrect. That's the 425 blue. Very powerful. We don't really, between you and I, we don't really have a whole lot of data on intravascular or intranasal blue light therapy. That's really the thing, is that it's so new that we just are kind of guesstimating. And I haven't really looked at those colors that much, but I mean, the point is it's very antibacterial. It's very positive for the red blood cells.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to start. And some nights what I've done is I figured blue light, any kind of exposure to blue light, night plan.
Correct.
So what I would do is I did like I just did like just the red light.
I saw it.
Yeah.
I saw you doing everything good. So let's just do infrared and red in the morning and at night, and red and blue in the morning.
Yeah, yeah.
If you feel like it. You can just do the infrared and just do the blue whenever you want. But here's the point. To dial you in, you might want to say, like, I don't really know. How long does it take? Let's let you share your data. Hold on. And go
Want me to
to,
share
you can,
my
I mean,
data on
you can
Bi-
look at,
BioStrap?
yeah, because I didn't, I don't know where's my BioStrap. I didn't put you into my BioStrap dashboard yet. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm looking. Where did I put that? Oh, I think it's here. Here, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Let me grab the near infrared.
Okay.
Okay, and I kind of wanted to go through my understanding of the device and how it works, just so I know I'm communicating it effectively to
Yeah.
followers. And
Well, let's hear
potential
what you
clients.
had to say. I mean, did anybody say they wanted to buy it when you said I got my brain
So
back?
people are
I got my
definitely
brain back. Oh well, I got my abs back. Oh good, I want some.
People are definitely interested. They're definitely curious. I post a lot of funky stuff on my Instagram, so people are just like, "What is this guy even up to anymore?" But
But not as funky
Yeah.
as me.
yeah, you have the hats. You've got the. I'm gonna put this on while I go through the description. I think it only makes sense.
Well, you can't really see it with the light on your face, my man.
Yeah.
Do your thing. So you're gonna, yeah.
So the infrared is not gonna show any light.
It shows a very small light to show that it's color.
Oh, I see it. Okay, I see it. All right.
How long can you hold your breath?
5 minutes.
Fuck. How long did you hold it when you started?
Like 2.5. Like, I think I'm pretty confident that I could take anybody that has no freediving experience and within 1 day of training, increase their breath hold by about a minute.
Why?
Because
How do you say that? What evidence do you have for that?
Well, as far as evidence, I don't really have too much evidence. I just know that most people don't know how to put themselves in a more parasympathetic state, and with a couple different breathwork techniques, you can definitely put yourself in a more parasympathetic state to achieve a longer breath hold. And just doing sort of like a body scan so that they're not tensing up, because tensing up anywhere is going to consume oxygen. So nailing those two things can help anyone extend their breath hold if they have no previous experience, about 30 to 60 seconds right off the bat. And then, with time, you see an increased tolerance to higher levels of CO2. You get to master the body scan and the parasympathetic breathwork techniques, that sort of thing. I know guys that can do 10-minute breath holds.
Really?
Yeah. I know guys that can take a free dive down to 200 feet or beyond, 250 feet, and shoot fish and then fight them back up. Like, just nuts.
Mhm.
Yeah. A lot of guys in Italy. So in Italy, it's interesting because to do spearfishing in Italy, I mean, they dive so deep for these little tiny fish, and yeah.
Did you ever see The Big Blue?
The movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Reno. I can't eat
Yeah.
pasta at home because my mother, if she sees me eating pasta at home, she'll yell. So do you remember that? That movie's older than you. I don't know how.
That's the movie with the big eel?
No, The Big Blue is an Italian movie. It's a French movie set in Italy, or it's an Italian movie. It's one of Jean Reno's first movies, and it's about the free diving in Italy. I'll send you the link. Anyway, it's a young kid, looks like you, and he holds his breath, and I'm not going to tell you the end of the movie, but it's worth a look.
Wow, this looks. Oh, I'm certainly gonna watch this. I'll watch it tonight with my girlfriend.
I think you'll like it.
Cool. Here, where'd you go? Here you are. Yeah, so I wanted to take you through my description of some of the mechanisms of action. So, starting with the red and infrared, right? It acts on the olfactory bulb, and it does two things. Number one is, I understand that red and infrared light stimulates mitochondrial biogenesis. and that can help repair and bring ATP and oxygen to those tissues in that area. And then you got vasodilation, nitric oxide, more nutrients flowing to the area as well. But the biggest, and from what I understand, the most important mechanism is the lymphatic drainage. And so how these frequencies stimulate the brain and promote that lymphatic drainage. And it's how the brain deals with the excess following the inflammatory response of with the immune system. It helps to drain the excess because the olfactory bulb is like a lymphatic drainage site for the brain, and that happens during deep sleep. Now, this is something else that I add beyond this description. I'll go a little deeper with certain people, and I'll tell them, here's the thing: is a lot of people, when they deal with COVID and they have all this inflammation in their olfactory bulb, and they can't breathe properly through their nose, they're automatically in a more sympathetic state, and that actually keeps them from achieving the deep sleep that would otherwise help them recover from that lymphatic drain and promote that lymphatic drainage. What do you think about that?
I think that you've piled a lot on that sandwich. Okay, so let's kind of slice it up. So let's look at it this way. We have direct effects and we have indirect effects. So the direct effects of the light are wavelength specific, and so are the indirect. Okay, so the infrared is going to have a little bit deeper penetration, so it's probably going to reach your prefrontal cortex. Okay, and that's kind of going to go up there and do that mitochondrial stimulation and increase oxygenation. In my research, I showed that it's going to increase oxygen consumption in the brain, which means more activity. Because of the cerebrovascular coupling, you're not going to have more blood flow to the brain until the brain needs it. So it has to be activation if you're having increased oxygen, getting there. You understand? So think about the brain as a helmet, and that space more blood is a space occupying lesion in some sense, right? More fluid, more CSF is a space occupying lesion. It's damaging. There's a very limited space in there. So the infrared is going to activate the brain tissue because it's going to call for more oxygen, which means it's going to have this blood. So the vasodilation effect is the red part. So the red is having a direct effect on the blood and the plasma, okay? And that's like an immediate thing. It's like a local, boom, boom, boom. And this is a little bit deeper. So the infrared maybe goes a little bit deeper. But it's hitting all the tissue as it goes through there, okay? Right. So one of the main benefits is when the red light, or it's probably red or the infrared and maybe even the blue, it's going to change the viscosity of that blood and maybe of other tissues, but we know that it's going to change the viscosity of the blood so that it's less packed, so that it can flow greater. So in my research, we showed increased oxygen being delivered with less red blood cells per milliliter per minute. So that's sort of like ridiculous. How do you get more oxygen with less soldiers? It's because they're flowing, so much freer. That's not counting this clumps of them going by. So the viscosity changes in the plasma, and also even in maybe the water, CSF. So it's going to become super water, that super slippery water. These are the things that we reviewed in our most recent article that we're publishing. Okay, so about the brain drainage system and light. Okay, so the infrared helps with that, and the red helps with increasing the flow, freedom of flow. Okay, so anytime you have inflammation or, kind of like, think of it, if you drink alcohol, what does that do? It makes you goofy, right? It has an effect on the brain, and you have to detoxify that to
terrible sleep.
Well, it's, yes and no. Yes and no. Let's just talk about it, but it depends on when you take it. But what I'm saying is you realize that you're not drunk anymore, right? And that because those chemicals are removed from your brain, right? So it doesn't really matter what toxicities you have in there. It's your ability to clear this stuff out and then clean out the rest of the body with the liver and the spleen and all those other lymphatic organs, if you will. You follow?
Yep.
So we have this effect happening, boom, 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 changing the brain. And now we know that we're going to increase the flow into the brain. We're going to sleep, and we're going to then in the morning kind of flush this stuff out with another blast. And what people will find is that they may have more exudate, more postnasal drip, have to blow their nose more, have like coughing of phlegm and things like that. If in fact it doesn't go into the deep cervical nuclei, which is what on the right side, which would usually goes into the body that way. Maybe it's being drained through the postnasal drip, who knows, right? So that's kind of the methodology, is you're gonna have a little bit better brain function, but until you can clean out the tank, if you will.
Yeah.
The brain is not gonna accelerate itself in the gunk, and that's really what's kind of happening with this COVID brain type of thing.
I'll tell you that I don't know if this is significant, but the first time that I used this device, I had a lot of stuff coming out of my nose. Yeah. I didn't know if it was just because I had something in my nose or what, but I noticed I put it in here and I was like, geez, like wiping my nose constantly.
And that was the break. You busted the faucet open. You understand? It's like a frozen faucet. And once you pop it, that stuff can normalize. And so that your flow, it's just like the tide. And you understand that, that it's going to come in. So here's the process in case you're not really aware. At the time, with your sleep cycle, so you go in like this and you go into your deep sleep cycle, right? So we know we go into deep parasympathetic at that point. Brain activity is very reduced. You're almost in a coma, right? You have very low activity in the brain. So think about it. There's not a lot of discharge, right? There's not a lot of exhaust because you're on a very low idle. Right. At the same time, astrocytes kind of change, and the parenchyma, or the brain tissue that you have, is reduced by 60%. Think about that.
But then where does the cerebrospinal fluid come in?
Now watch. So this is the story that I tell everybody. So think about here's Manhattan, right? All those buildings, right? And let's say, 4 o'clock in the morning when everybody's gone and there's very little activity. If the buildings shrank, which means the streets would get bigger, then the garbage trucks could whip around there a lot quicker than having to make these tight little turns. And that's basically what's happening, is the parenchyma of your brain, or the tissue of your brain, is reduced by 60%, which allows more fluid to fill those spaces. Okay. And when that fluid is spacious, that is the push of the mixture of the interstitial fluid with the CSF. Got me?
Yeah.
And then it has to close back up. And that's when you come out of your sleep. So these are the sleep cycles, and why it's tied to no activity. I can be at rest. I'm not alert, right? And my brain is not really working so hard. So I'm not creating more garbage to take out. It's the last day. And now then whoosh, comes back. See? And so that is how you are cleaning the brain. And that is one of the final common pathways, mechanisms of photobiomodulation therapy and the transcranial at the same time. Because putting it here in the morning, we're pulling, right? That vasodilation here and then your chest, it pulls that stuff, correct. It pulls that, opens that stuff up so you can have a pull. So in the evening, we do a push, and in the morning, we do a pull. Just like that. You're right on your vagus, you're right on the vagus nerve, the stellate ganglion right there. It's very good to calm the sympathetic, increase the parasympathetic. You're going to hit the largest artery in your body besides your aorta, which is going to vasodilate and thump up there. So you're going to be maximally ready to have
I just worked out too, so.
It's cool.
I just worked out, so I think I could use this, blood
Well,
flow to the brain.
let's think about that. You already did that. You already did that. So that's sort of the scenario. When you open this, this is one of the main gateways to reduce that pressure,
Yeah.
to out to the into your tissues and out like that. So when you made this change, I mean, you've been doing it for a few days now.
Yeah.
What is it that you said? You said, first of all, you did notice some exudate.
Yeah.
What other, I mean, how did you know that you had clarity?
So yeah, so I'll take you through that. So, and I want to say beyond experiencing that during the session, I noticed that like in the shower with the humidity, I was like wiping off more
Right.
snot.
Correct.
Then as far as I'll tell you this, that I got my memory back. Like the other day, my girlfriend shared her like license plate with me, and now I just like it's like 41J 99. Like it's like these things that were otherwise like just useless information. I guess it's just it sticks. Everything sticks. Phone numbers, I can easily remember them. Streets, addresses, like that's something that I had gone months without, and I no longer feel like I'm stumbling with my words as much as I was before. I feel like I just worked out, so I'm kind of I'm recovering from the workout,
Sure.
but I'll tell you that as far as my verbal fluidity, my mood too, I feel like I have a better mood. I wake up in the morning, have more energy. But more than anything, it's the ability to communicate effectively and not feeling frustrated over words that I wish I had that I otherwise would, you know?
Well, if you think about it, I made a video this weekend when I said, why I put my helmet on. Let me show you. I put my helmet on and I was like, I want to say something to you a little bit deep, if you will.
Yeah.
That think about the old days, right? When we're sitting around the fireplace or the campfire, right? And all of a sudden, Bob falls over. Look at this thing.
That thing's amazing.
Who doesn't want one of these? I buy it because it's cool. Because I'm Tony Stark up your body, right? You know what I'm saying? Here, let me put this in my head. I want this because it's cool. Who cares? Maybe it'll grow my hair back, right? Maybe it'll increase the circulation to my brain. Maybe it'll optimize my mitochondrial function, right?
Taking a video of you.
So what I'm saying is, if it's going to maybe reduce my risk of Alzheimer's, I should buy it anyway, just for the placebo. My placebo will work well, right? It's $1,000 placebo. Who cares if I'm all about the science, right?
Transcranial photobiomodulation. Just saying that.
Right. So let's just say your body knew what it had to do to get better. And when you took this device with this assumption that you were going to get better, your body immediately reacted and got you better. Do you understand? Doesn't matter what the placebo is. It doesn't matter if it's an anti-cancer drug. It does not matter. The body knows what to do to get you better.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, as a chiropractor, our Hippocratic oath is first do no harm. So there is no harm that can be done from putting the light on you. So I'm doing no harm. We know that there's physiologic benefits, that we can measurable changes that we can see. But at the end, it's just about energy. And maybe it's just that little boost of energy that you need for your brain to do the proper placebo.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who cares? Because you can't tell the difference. They did a placebo controlled study. You know what I'm saying? They don't even give them the drugs anymore. And the people get better. They just give them placebo.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all the mechanisms of physiology that you need Andres, but let's just talk, buy it for the placebo effect. I make no claims. It's all placebo. And what's wrong with that? You know what I'm saying? You into that placebo research?
I'm into it. I think the placebo effect is, I mean, it's extremely powerful. And
I was studying that. I was studying in Italy, and I went to the study. The first lecture I ever did on laser or light therapy, right? And they were using a pen light. They were using laser that's a pen light, right? And they were showing that the first time people actually talked about, how do you say, placebo, and all the research that has already been done. This was 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago. So I think you should market the placebo. What the hell? Why not?
you think I should just tell them, hey, buy it for the placebo effect?
Buy for the placebo effect.
Hey, tell me, what's the minimum effective dose of this placebo? As far as
I think that
exposure and the days and
I think that we that really we have to examine your dose, and one of the ways we do that is how much you can take, and that's really it's nervous system dependent. Do you understand? It's very personalized, your dose. Yeah. The point is that we probably can't really overdose with the stuff that we use. It's very difficult to have too much light into you. But if people are frail, if their nervous systems are damaged, you can't really, it's like filling up a shot glass. You can't pour a whole bottle into a shot glass. It's just going to go on the ground, So that's basically my take on it. You really can't overdo.
Right.
So I wouldn't worry about that. But here's the deal. You want to do in the morning, leave it wide open, 0 hertz, or today I put it at 99 hertz, just because why not? I'm not really good in the frequency things, but my wife was talking about the limitless pill, It's like how you can have more connections and have more memories and thoughts and make these things. I said, well, that's what we do. Andres is doing that right now. He's helping his brain function more optimally. We're not making him more intelligent. We're giving him all the tools to have his intellectual capacity. Of course, his mitochondria will grow. Of course, they will have more energy. Of course, he may build more connectivity, synaptic connectivity with this increased firing.
Yeah.
But it might take a little time.
Yeah.
So that's really the optimization part that really we're about. We know that it is a performance enhancing non-drug. We know that that's what light does. Light does it for sports, for muscles, and it does it for the brain, and it does it for all these tissues. So you're taking your limitless pill. That's a good quote to put in your thing. But here's the point. I just want to point this out, that if you did like some of that TENS therapy, like TENS assisted muscle workout, right? If you use electrical devices are stimulatory, right? And they can have a detrimental effect when they overstimulate, okay? But light therapy appears, from my perspective, to be acceleratory. It accelerates natural processes, basically because it's turning on the Krebs cycle and making things spin a little bit faster. So it's not falsely stimulating anything. It's turning it on, accelerating to your capacity. Do you understand? It's based on your mitochondrial tolerance. So I can't make your mitochondria go from here to here in one day, because they'll die. That's excitotoxicity. That's stimulatory, excitatory. But if I say this is your metabolic capacity right now, and I maximize it, that's good, because then tomorrow I can maximize a little bit more, and tomorrow I can maximize a little more, and that's healing. right? Which accelerates wound healing, accelerates circulation, accelerates angiogenesis. But those things take time, right?
Yeah.
If you know what I'm saying? If you have maximum acceleration of blood flow, that's like bleeding, right? We don't need that. We don't need that. We need it just within the limits of your own what is it that reserve, be it cognitive reserve or physical reserve or energy reserve.
One thing that I notice every time I do a session, even like no matter the frequency that I set it to, is just calm, clear. You know, that's what I feel, calm and clear. And I've been pairing it, you know, the Apollo device, the Apollo Neuro.
A little bit. I see you had it on your arm. I need a little bit more feedback on it because one of my team members is using it.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. I set it to pretty low intensities. You have like a sliding scale, 0 to 100% intensity. I like to keep it pretty subtle, and I recommend it towards the beginning because when you set it to 100, it's very noticeable. It's like vibrating on your wrist. When it's like really, really like almost like low key, you can get the effects without feeling like you have to think about it. It's been working well for me.
And what is it actually doing?
So it's set to different frequencies that innervate your parasympathetic nervous system, and then you can set it to specific brainwave states. So you can set it to, I don't know exactly what this is in frequencies, but you can set it to a social and open state, a clear and focused, a more meditative, rest and relaxation, sleep. So I've been using it every day. I use it in the mornings. I use it for podcasting. I use it at night. And I'm actually going to have one of the CEOs, Dr. David Rabin, on the podcast in a month or two. And one of the big questions that I want to ask is, how does this influence your endogenous ability to produce these states? You know, like if you're putting on a device, how does it influence your own ability to do it? And I think he's going to say something along the lines of, if anything, it can assist you in achieving those states because of the familiarity of your parasympathetic nervous system. I think it's almost like, in a way, it's like when you exercise, it's like the mind-muscle connection. It's like building the mind-muscle connection. From that, you can go and develop your own strength and power, on your own accord.
Well, let me give a different take.
Yeah.
So this hapto sense, right, is very important, and it's called interoception, right? So what you can sense about yourself. So a state of mindfulness does not necessarily mean that you are meditating and you're blissed out. It means that you are sort of sensing yourself in sort of like groundedness versus just being in your head and things are whipping around.
Yeah.
So this hapto sense it starts from when you're in the womb, right? When you're hearing the mother's heartbeat and the drum beats of the tribe and everything like that. It's a rhythm that your body is accustomed to. So it's very important, and I think it's really vibrational medicine, if you will. You can kind of go even to these ones that you can feel. Light is a vibration, can't really feel it though. So I think it's all around the same, perspective. And I'm very into all these things, and they're all useful. I just try to take a bottom up approach versus a top down approach. Like, you could say to them, you could use the intranasal device as I want calm focus, and so you put in the, beta wave, high beta. I want to be focused, and you put it on and da, 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 da. But that's kind of a top down, you know what I'm saying? I like to work with what's the body's natural, what is it naturally doing? And then how can I assist that? How can I assist that?
Right.
Because you can pick the wrong frequency, right? Well, I want to be up today. I want to be focused. I want to be concentrated. And maybe, you're fatigued, and maybe it's not the right time. And maybe it's, you know what I mean? You're not really going to relate to the people around you if you're zapping your own. This is my rhythm. You follow me?
Yeah. And let me ask you, what's the difference between the flashing settings and the steady settings?
Well, so we're trying to get your brain to a good state. So like, just to let you know, I'm telling you a lot of proprietary stuff because I want you to get the best out of it, right? And I want you to, if we're going to do something working together, we have to kind of teach each other as we go. But in the evening, we wanted you to pick a low frequency. So I'm still a little concerned that your percentage of deep sleep is almost 50%. And I'm not sure.
Let me check.
You were over you said 44%, I think, the other day.
Yeah, let me see what it was Sunday night. I had 41% that night. Saturday night I had 21%.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, so what I'm saying is, if you look at if we share your data before we finish here, sometimes this stuff is cyclic, these increases in, yeah, but it should go like maybe like 14, 22, 23, like 14, 25, 26. But these steady states, I don't believe that they're healing. I don't think that they're right. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there because not too many people are looking at these things. So I can be right in my postulate, right? Because there's no one to contradict me.
You think the deep sleep percentage should fluctuate naturally? It should fluctuate.
I think it should have a little bit based on your lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You shouldn't have to power wash your brain every day if it's just if you're just doing your normal stuff.
Right. So it's like the deep sleep is reactive. It's like according to what your body needs. If I'm constantly getting super deep sleep, it means that perhaps I'm just doing too much during the day or exposing myself to too many stressors during the day and therefore forcing myself into more parasympathetic state.
I think it's the other way. I don't think I'm questioning what is the trigger. What is the metabolic trigger to drive you into? Wait a second. So we're talking about metabolites, right? So if your brain is fired up all day, right? It really depends, because sometimes I have to look at your whole sleep cycle thing, because you may have like zero restlessness and very low light sleep, but you need REM sleep to process you know what I mean? REM sleep has to be there to process all the information, not deep sleep. Deep sleep is not a brain thing. REM is a brain thing. REM is making the connections. REM is reorganizing the neuron structure.
Is a lot of dreaming evidence of REM?
Well, that's the point, is if we are optimizing people's sleep, we should be optimizing their dreaming. So we should really be talking about fairy tales when we do our coaching, more than what's your physiological. How many times did you go to the bathroom? Do you follow me?
Yeah.
But nobody wants to talk about that, just me.
I mean, I'll tell you that so I've been under the impression that the most restorative sleep is deep, and that's where we should shoot for, is higher proportion of deep sleep. But I will say that with everything that I've done through the past few months, I've been frustrated up until this point having this conversation with you, because I've realized that in fact my dreams are almost to me like another life. They're so realistic and so just like I have dreams that feel like they're weeks of dreams. It's unbelievable the dreams that I have. One of the supplements that I feel has been helping me with my dreaming is magnesium L-threonate. I know it's the most bioavailable for the brain. It readily crosses the blood-brain barrier. I've been taking a brand called Magtine, and I've noticed that has sometimes I won't take it because I feel like the dreams are almost too realistic. Like I'll wake up in the middle of the night having like a very awkward or weird dream, and I can't tell if it really happened or if I'm dreaming. So
that's really the question. The question is which part is the non-real part? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said, we're the only. So let's talk about two different things here and how that relates. One, We're the only creatures we know of that makes up stories in their head to scare themselves at night. You know what I'm saying? It's all you. So what is it that you're afraid? Why is it a scary dream? Right? Why? So let me just point out.
They're not scared. They're like awkward. They're like weird situations.
But
Yeah.
let me point this out. So this is what happens. So your shift from parasympathetic, then you fall asleep, right? And when you come out, you need this sympathetic push. Heart rate has to go up to wake you back up again. You're coming out of a coma. Yeah. Okay. So that bandwidth is really important, right? It's not how far you go down into the deep sleep, which is just complete relaxation. The slow wave speed, the spikes are just making sure everything's alive, and your muscles can have a complete relaxation. So it is a physically restorative sleep, and it's cleaning the brain out. So it's non-activity, but you need that light REM and the REM sleep to consolidate memories and get everything going. And so it's kind of okay if you have this weird wake up thing for whatever reason. It's just you just hit your sympathetic max, basically, is how I look at it. And so everything should turn on, right? And you should have some kind of, what the heck was that?
Yeah.
And think about this for 1 second. If we are able to use this new form of photobiomodulation to squeeze that sponge, right? Squish it down and suck it up, and squeeze it down and suck it up. These metabolites that we're removing from the brain could have been there for how long? How long are they sitting in situ? If I can only squeeze the sponge this much, the stuff in the middle of that sponge is not being cleaned, is it? But if I can give it a good squeeze and a big suck it up like that, and a big squeeze and suck it up like that, I'm removing stuff from the brain that's been there for how long? Early trauma, detoxification. What do they call that? We're reaching the deep nuclei, cleansing the pineal gland, washing these deep, important vestigial nuclei of our stuff, of our brains. And so I think that we have to be very aware of, our dreams and our abilities, because, that's really the whole idea of all this stuff, Andreas, is to change human consciousness. You know what I'm saying? If you're a better human, that's really the whole idea. We don't really want to. You're going to be an optimized Andres, but we really are shooting for, better humans.
Yeah, well, one thing that I always say, and I took this quote from Joe Holder. He's a famous trainer with Nike, master trainer with Nike. He says, sometimes it takes being selfish to be selfless. And I understand that investing in myself in this fashion allows me to be the best version of myself with the people that I want to help and the message that I want to spread. So I see it as an investment in my community.
You can only give from your abundance.
Wow, I like that. You can only give from your abundance. I like that a lot. Is that original?
I didn't trademark it, but you're talking to the man. So
I'll write that down.
This guy's stay. Write it down.
I'm gonna tattoo it to my.
Yeah, Andreas said it. Yeah, just put Dr. Joe a little bit underneath it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, cool.
So that's the scenario where, as I agree with you, the dreaming, it's all got to get better. But I want to see your bio data right now. If you would be so kind.
Let me give you my email for BioStrap. You have a BioStrap account, right?
Well, let me see. I'm saying, can we go to your dashboard for a second?
Or you want me to share my screen and go in?
Yeah, you're ready.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't want to look at all your stuff, but
I don't mind. I have nothing to hide.
Yeah, you always run around your shirt off.
Just trying to get my whole body exposed to the
What
rays
did
of
you do
sunlight.
for what did you do for that Spotify? How did you get to hang up with all those guys? I don't know you. I don't know you as being that special, really, Andres. But
So that was because the people that listen to me listen to all those guys as well, and so I ended up on those top lists with them.
that's
I
very
mean, don't get me.
positive.
I'm not on the top list of like the health and wellness, categories, but for the people that tune into those podcasts, seem to like me a lot.
I don't know what you talk about. I really don't know.
What's
what you
that?
talk- I don't really don't know what you talk about. It just seems a lot
I
of
talk,
fish.
I talk a lot about physiology and just making that more accessible so people can live longer, live better, achieve more, maximize their
Longevity. What
potential.
did your doctor's friends to think about your little pitch on photobiomodulation this weekend?
So they think it's really cool. They're I mean, as any good scientist, they're always skeptical, and that's why they're wanting me to have you on the podcast so we can dive deep on the science of transcranial photobiomodulation. What do you think?
That's what I do.
All right, so you're up for the podcast, right?
I already scheduled it for the 21st, the day you sent it to me.
All right.
I just
cool,
wanted to
cool.
give you some time to get, you know what I mean, grow your hair back, and my pecs have grown so intensely since I've used, all that good stuff. I got my brain back. That's on the inside. We can't see the scar. We can't see the boo-boo on the inside. We can't see it getting better.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm sharing my screen with you.
Let's
Let
go.
me know when you can see it. Whoa. Okay. Let me see. It's not coming up for whatever reason. Okay, I didn't record my sleep last night because my backstrap was. Let me minimize this. I move it here. All right, so let's see for the month. Is this what you want to see?
Stop there for a second. No, that's not enough. Average sleep. What's your readiness score? Let's go down. Recovery for the
Let
week.
me see.
Go.
Let's
Go
go
no,
down.
just keep it down. Scroll down.
I can't.
That's
scroll
it.
down.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, you're very inconsistent. We got to get the stuff together here. Go back to the week, and go back to the. That's fine. 7 hours. It's probably good. You're probably good. 7 something. That's good. No. Go to the week. Go to the dashboard. Take us back there. Activity, and go to the week. Heart rate, go. Go. Sweet. CSV descendant. Nocturnal. Let me see your well, you have to get really really good at this. That's the last one. Respiratory rate's the last one. So scroll back up just a little bit. Wednesday was a good day. Go down to heart rate and let's pick a day. Pick a day.
Wednesday.
Yeah, pick a day.
Sunday, Saturday, Friday, Thursday.
And hit day. Hit day. Here we are. So 2 a.m. you screwed up, babe. You picked the wrong day.
Yeah, I don't know what. Man, let me see. If it was no. This day.
So this is again. That's not enough sleep.
Yeah, my sleep last week was kind of crazy. I'll say that. You want me to pick a really good day?
No, just leave it here for 1 second. So this is this BioStrap is not giving us the right data because you've got a 36% deep light and 11% awake. So it's really not helping us to decipher anything. Right? You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you've gotten two. These are probably, you can't see me. Let me annotate here.
But here's the thing. I think on Wednesday, let me see. I think that's actually the first time in like a whole year that I had alcohol. Let me make sure.
I think that's the first. Yeah. 2 a.m.
I went to sleep late. I think it was that day. Let me check. See list. Yeah, I was up very late on Wednesday for some reason. Very unlike me.
Yeah, well, we could ask your girlfriend what happened that day. So that's funny. So yeah, this is probably not giving us the right data. So that's why your percentage is so high, because it's the wrong sleep tracker. I think probably BioStrap is one of the worst sleep trackers.
Really?
I think so. The real guy is Know Your Physio. That I just want to say,
Yeah.
if I can just say, they don't know if you know your physiotherapist, know your physiology. What I know my physique. You know, I'm pretty good at naming stuff, Andres, and that.
Yeah, I'll tell you that I've been having problems with a couple of my business partners about my name. Do you have any suggestions?
Yeah, yes, but I don't know what I don't follow you enough. I don't know what your avatar, your ideal client, what you're trying to do. You got to do it. You got to do it. Know Your Physio is no good. I thought you were some kind of massage therapist, physiotherapist. Nope. Sorry.
No.
I mean, I told, at least you don't have a nose whistle, when you're doing your podcast, that, that's like the worst. Who can listen to an hour of that? Please.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I should probably change the name.
Well, let's think about it before you jump on that.
Well, think about the name?
Yeah, let's just think about the name a little bit.
Well,
before I give you $1 million, before I give you $1 million, I already gave you a slogan and I gave you a mission statement. I gave it, so before I give you $1 million name for your, product or whatever it is, I'll think about it.
All right. I mean, I think everyone deserves to know their physiology. I think everybody has the right to understand the way their body works, the way their mind works, so that they can optimize from a place of understanding. But maybe Know Your Physio isn't the best name.
I don't know. It's got to go. It's like it'll crystallize is what I'm saying. When you realize what you're going to do, what you're going to, it'll come to you. If it doesn't come to you, I'll feed you one.
All right.
So
sounds good.
Did we cover everything we're going to cover? So let me tell you this. So in the evening, you want to put it anywhere between 3, 6, or 8 hertz. Okay? And go with that. Because it's going to slow everything down. I was getting to, and so there's a lot of things whipping around at the same time. So got to be careful on those things, on setting the frequencies and training the brain, because it does what we said it does. It can make you a little bit and put you in a state that's not natural for you, not normal for you.
Right.
So pay attention to those.
Right. Okay. All right. Great. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time and for your help. I'm looking forward to our podcast on the 21st.
Maybe we have to zoom in. If you send me a message, if we want to look at this one more time, or if you want to kind of digest this and circle back, that's okay with me.
Yeah. Would you mind sending me the recording?
No, I will not mind sending you the recording, but would you pay attention if you're going to coach? Maybe we should figure out how to structure this into the coaching in the right way. If you're going to add these devices, that's sort of like what we're doing, and we'll work on that as we move forward. Huh?
All right, sounds good.
I'm very, very excited that you're open to changing the name a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, changing the name in general, not changing the name so that it complies with transcranial photobiomodulation.
No. That's nothing to. No. I mean, it's like your content and what you're delivering. We got to kind of figure that out a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. I'm very much in the world of biometrics, of health optimization, optimal performance.
Let me show you this guy. This is the guy. He's a
Quantified
real.
Bob?
No, Quantified Bob doesn't do too much. Who's this guy? This guy is the quantified scientist. This is what I thought was happening. Heart rate, sleep test. This is the quantified scientist.
Let me see. I might follow him.
This guy from Austria.
Let me see. The quantified scientist. Is he on Instagram?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
Where did you find him just now?
He's on my YouTube.
One thing I'm very big on that I offer through my services is like quantifying people's lifestyles to optimize their life. I do a lot of remote monitoring and lifestyle data analytics.
Yes. Yeah. So let's just kind of keep that in mind. Keep it floating. We don't have to make a decision today. But here's what I said. I tried that Heads Up. What's the name of that place you told me again? Health Snap. I can't get anything to load. I would like to take a look at it. Can you show me what it looks like?
Yeah, sure.
It's GIF files or whatever it is. I really can't get a good look at it.
Let me log in and I'll show you. Do you want me to show you from the provider portal or what it looks like as a patient?
But let's do provider because I'm going to need that dashboard at some point, maybe.
Okay. Okay. Well, here's the thing: is I don't
care about the data. I'm not going to look at anybody's data.
I have the patient's names here. You know what I mean?
Just kind of don't zoom in. Just give me an overview. I don't care if you even go to their website at the beginning. That doesn't help.
No, not here. Thing is, we're switching over now to BioStrap. So anyway, here are patients. I'm just gonna click on my name, for example. Here's the lifestyle profile. And I can actually go into each and every one of these scores. So for example, then I can see what contributes to them. I see insights, actionable insights. But I can take it a step further and I can go, okay, what about my vitals? What about my fitness?
That's what you were saying.
Yeah.
That's a lot of tracking right there.
behavior, musculoskeletal. And then I have a collection log. So this is, submitted by Apple Health. I have all the data that comes in here. I can do tracking, so I can see how everything. I mean, I just haven't uploaded anything over here because I don't use this for my personal health anymore. I don't want to pull up a random patient's profile. I think I can pull up. There's a test profile though. There's a test patient.
Looking away, looking away, looking away.
I don't know if this is it, but this is someone else's. Then I can send messages. I can offer recommendations such as, calories, macronutrient breakdowns. I can offer fitness recommendations, like let's say you're advanced and you want to work out, the gym.
Pretty done for you. It's pretty done for you.
Yeah, but I really like what BioStrap is offering right now. BioStrap is really taking this a step further, because this is more for like, now they're working with a lot of large hospitals, thousands, tens of thousands of patients. And this is more for like disease populations that want to revert their disease. And I'm more focused on like the performance end. And I find that BioStrap is a lot better. You can actually set alerts here. So if someone's blood pressure goes above or below a certain range, heart rate above or below, anything you want, it sets alerts where they sends an email to me and to the patient. So, it's compliant with Apple Health and Google Health.
But does it give you HRV or anything like that? There's maximum heart rate reserve.
So this will track simpler vitals. I mean, it's blood pressure, rate pressure product, pulse pressure, heart rate, but it's not gonna track your HRV. No. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I like the BioStrap because it gives you that immediate. You can take an HRV whenever you want, and I like a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, you can do the biometric pulse report and such. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. If I'd actually really appreciate it if you could help me with that name, and maybe I can send you my About Me on my website, maybe that link, so you can learn about exactly my background and what I do. I think that'd be huge, really.
I'm thinking on it. I've been thinking about it since I just needed your okay. I've been thinking about it since I bumped into you.
I'm actually no. I have a couple business partners now that they're looking to create this massive RPM service that I'm going to be spearheading with them, and we need to change the name. But the thing is, I also want a name for my personal brand. Really, is just my name, so Andres Purcell. But with regards to the massive RPM service that I want to provide, and the content creation featuring a number of different scientists and gathering their content, and the podcast, I want to have something different. For the RPM service that this guy wanted, that I'm creating with this.
What's that mean, RPM?
Remote patient monitoring or remote physiological monitoring. So setting people up with these kinds of smart wearable devices and monitoring their physiology no matter where they are in the world, helping them stay optimized on the go, so to speak. And his idea was health from afar. That was, yeah. But I do want to.
But listen to me. At some point, you have to circle in, because that's my job. Doing what you're doing right now. I mean, I'm down to making the device. To understand the prototype that will do what it's supposed to do. I'm hot on it. So if you got people who are doing that sort of thing, I think that if depending on what they want to do, I think we can build not a better mousetrap. We, meaning, I'm not sure what you guys are going to do, but the algorithms and the way these things work and the way that they go together, I've been working on this for a few years now. And there's nothing out there that exists what I want to build.
Is it a device for remote monitoring or?
Everything. And the dashboard. The pieces of the dashboard that we have built. And then these guys are doing their, this is not their day job. But, I've got a guy in Israel that's a device guru I'm talking to some universities on what they make, manufacturers in Korea, blah, 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 blah. So
Are
I
you
think that,
Jewish?
you know,
So what else was I gonna ask you? There's actually we're considering having a center here in Miami Beach where we can offer these kinds of services, set people up with remote monitoring, offer all kinds of biohacking services and human performance services, and have
Mhm.
physiotherapists and physiologists and such. So we're looking into that, but definitely making decisions about when someone comes in according to the data that we remotely gather.
Mhm. Snap. What is this guy? He's making one of those. It's pretty. The guys that have already done something like this, it's pretty. How do you say? Engineering intensive.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
it
saying?
is.
The guys that
Yeah,
start these things, they started and they got like 6 engineers behind them, and they're still in a beta. So
yeah.
just let you know. Okay, hopefully bump into you. Maybe we'll bump in before the 21st because we have a lot to talk about besides we talk about the stuff, and I'll get this recording to you sometime this week.
Cool. Sounds good. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Joe.
Peace, Andres.
We're
Peace.
talking soon. Bye bye.